Good evening, CAN TV viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in once again to the Doty Report on Comprehensive Health. My name is Yolanda Gibbons, and I am your host for this evening. And as always, we are excited to have you here. We appreciate you tuning in once again. You know, we've been here every Monday since the year started at 7:30. And we thank you for tuning in. The Doty Report on Comprehensive Health is dedicated to health issues, providing information, raising awareness, connecting people to resources, and really trying to talk about some of the health disparities within our community. You know, I always want to give a shout out to the founder and CEO of the Georgia Doty Comprehensive Health Organization, Mr. Don Doty. And I always do a hey, Mr. Doty, how are you? The Georgia Doty Comprehensive Health Organization has been around for 20 years. We got an expert over here. She'll tell us. 20 years or so, educating the community and just being a health advocate for the community for a very, very long time. I am excited about our show tonight. We have two wonderful ladies here with us today. We have Miss Beverly right here next to me, Miss Beverly Walker, and next to her we have Reverend Doris Green. Hello. And I'm really gonna just pass the mic and allow them to share information about themselves, about their work in the community. Reverend Green is going to talk about her organization, and they're going to provide information about HIV and Hep C prevention and treatment. So welcome, 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 welcome. Guests, viewers, don't forget that you can call in. We welcome you to call in with any questions and any comments. So here we go. I'm going to pass the mic over to Miss Beverly Walker to talk about her work with the Georgia Doty Comprehensive Health Organization, formerly HIV Hep C Community Outreach.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, the Georgia Doty program was originally called the Georgia Doty Health Fund, and it has been around 20-some years. I'm not real sure of the exact years because I'm getting up in years myself, so it's kind of hard to remember all of that. However, I do remember back in the early 2000s, Georgia Doty was going into the adult transitional centers, which was formerly known as the work release centers. Okay. When we were going into those programs, I was going in doing the education as the educator. We were educating on hepatitis, HIV, and substance abuse. And we were actually going in along with Reverend Doris Green. Reverend Doris Green had the HIV part, and her educator was myself. Mm-hmm. And Don Doty, the CEO, was doing the hepatitis C portion. And he was looking for an educator. He went to Congressman Danny Davis of the 7th Congressional District and asked for an educator, and Congressman Davis recommended me as well. At that particular time, I was the CEO of the Greater Westside Development Corporation. And so I began to do the education for HIV and hepatitis C. We had a curriculum for both of those programs, and I did the education. And what we would do, we did HIV, hepatitis, and substance abuse, and we did one session each week. And on the 4th week, we had a graduation ceremony where we would have food and we would do like a graduation certificate. And those individuals, we went into 3 facilities. We went into Crossroads, we went into Safer Foundation, and another facility we went into over at right off of Western and Washington, between Lake and Washington. Mm-hmm. And at one time we even went out to the south suburban area on Sibley, Mount Houston. We went to that facility as well. And we did the education there. And it was a really, really good program. Some of the people that came out of those programs were later joined Men and Women Prison Ministry Program to work. Nice. Some of them joined Greater Westside Development Program to work. And some of them even came forward to join Georgia Doty, who were poets or artists, and they began to do different things. So we did a good work in the community, And from that, Don Doty of the Georgia Doty program continued to do his work in the community, and he is now working with veterans doing hepatitis work. He is also doing an outreach program in the community where he is developing a program where he can do some testing, HIV testing and hepatitis C testing as well. So, now with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Reverend Green, who has continued to do some work in her program. I have to say that I am the community liaison with Men and Women Prison Ministry. Glad to be so. And she's doing quite a bit of work on the south and west side of the city, as far as reentry is concerned. She has continued that work, and she is definitely doing a great work, and I must say she really keeps me busy.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Reverend Green. I'm the founder and CEO of Men and Women in Prison Ministry, an organization that started 35 years ago.
Wow.
We have several programs at our agency. We did some work with Doty Foundation years ago, with Beverly being the educator for HIV and Hep C. But our organization kind of spinned off and started doing other initiatives for the reentry population. That's our focus. We started going in the prison, and now our work is bridged from the inside to the outside. Our agency is broke up now into 3 departments. We have health and wellness,
Okay.
where we do breast cancer awareness, and we do HIV and Hep C screening. And we also do have a department called Social Economic Recovery Department. And there we do things like the identification restoration program, where people, when they come out of the prison, a lot of times they don't have the identification, state
Right.
ID. And you can actually get rearrested for not having identification.
Oh, wow.
So we make sure that we process them. Some people come out, they've been locked up. If you've been locked up over 5 years, all your information is gone out of the system, so you have to reapply. So what we do is make sure that they get their birth certificates and Social Security cards, and we are funded through Public Health Association to give them ID vouchers, pay for their identification. But that's just not it. We just don't give them the voucher. We make sure that they have the proper information they need when they go to Secretary of State, because the Secretary of State will not issue a voucher if you don't have the paperwork done, if you
Right.
don't have your Social Security card or your birth certificate. So sometimes we have to send to other states. We have sent to Mississippi to get people birth certificates that's been locked up 30 years and coming out, and they come straight to us. And so it's a little work to do that, but
Right.
we enjoy the work, and our organization is pretty much experts at doing that type of work. We also do literacy work with them to make sure that a couple of people come out and they don't even financial literacy. They don't even know how to get a bank statement. They don't know how to go get a credit card or get a bank card. We are able to walk them through on the process on how to do that. And we also have what's called our advocacy work. We do advocacy work for healthcare in Springfield. We go to Springfield on Lobby Day with the AIDS Foundation Chicago, and we advocate for prisoners' health care. That's treatment for them while they're inside. Our motto is good prison health is good community health.
Right.
If we can make sure people inside get proper insurance, get proper health coverage when they get out, more likely they'll be able to live for a longer time.
Right. Absolutely.
So we are very busy at Men and Women in Prison Ministry. We have a staff of about 9 people now. I would say 90% of my staff are formerly incarcerated people. They've done their time, they're off paper, and now they work for the organization. I consider them to be the 1/3 that don't go back. There's a lot of research talk about people, 2/3 of people go back.
Right.
At Men and Women in Prison Ministry, we celebrate the 1/3 that decide to stay out and give back to those that are incarcerated. And they are the most loyal group of people I ever worked with in my life. I don't even have to go to my office if I don't want to, but my manager, my coordinator, a lot of my staff people are formerly incarcerated.
Wow.
And they are great workers. So.
That's great to hear that you're
Yes.
not only serving them, you're employing them.
Oh, absolutely, because it's not enough to just talk about what people need.
Right.
And when you can actually offer them opportunity to do better and get things for their families and things like that. So that's what we do at Men and Women in Prison Ministry.
Right. So let me ask a question. So how are they finding you? Is the prison system referring them to you? Is it word of mouth?
Oh my
Can
God.
anybody, if I got out tomorrow, can I just
Let me say something
walk
about
into your facility and ask for help?
Let me say something about that, first of all. I ride the train a lot and the buses. And a lot of times, I know one of the ways that people hear about it is through word of mouth.
Okay.
Because a lot of
Absolutely.
times I'm on the train and people are talking about, man, look, there's this program on 35th Street. If you go over there, they'll make sure, they'll hook you up. They'll make sure you get your ID. And you know, I'm just a people person. So if I hear them talking, you know, I got to jump in the conversation. I say, you mean Men and Women Prison Ministry right on the corner over there? And so we join in the conversation. When I see people in the community, I'm always in the community where people are. And I'm telling them, you know, I'm talking to people and I'm saying, you know, have you been incarcerated? I see we have a caller on the
Yep.
screen.
We have a caller. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I'd like to ask Doris Green a question.
Oh, someone called me Doris. I haven't heard that in a long time.
What's your question for
Yes,
Reverend Green?
yes, Miss Green. I'd like to know: Are you referring your veterans to the VA to get the new Hep C vaccinations to eliminate hepatitis?
When when the clients come to our agency, we do assess them to find out if they vets we do a full assessment on our clients. And no, we are not, the only place we refer the client to if they HIV positive, Hep C positive, we refer them, we do blood draws at our agency, we do spin blood, we get the diagnosis and then we send them for care. Now, if there's a service that you know of that we can refer them to, please forward that on to me, and I would be glad to refer them there. So we have systems set up at our agency already for if they are positive, Hep C positive or HIV positive. We do have agencies, and we have physician standard orders where we can send them straight for medical care.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that
Thank you.
question, caller. So, just what the caller's saying. So, you're doing the actual screening and testing at your facility.
Oh, yeah, we do
So
screening
then,
and
if they're
testing.
positive, they refer
Refer them straight into
Okay.
for care.
Okay. All right. All right. So back to
How they come.
how they come.
Well, we found out a couple of months ago, one of the clients showed up with a form from Illinois Department of Correction with Governor Ryan's name on it. And it said, when you get out, you go here, you do this, and you do that. So at the top of that list, the first place they go to, even before they call a parole officer, is Men and Women in Prison Ministry to get their identification restored.
Okay.
Same thing happened a couple of weeks ago. Someone came in from Cook County Jail with another referral form that they were referred to our agencies.
Okay.
So to our agency for the service. And we've been doing it for quite a while. I have to say myself as experts at doing this. And people know if they come there, we are going to serve them for the needs that they have if they show up.
I think more people need to know. Where are you located? Can we give the address out?
Yes, we're located at 10 West 35th Street, 10 South 35th Street, on the 9th floor in the IIT building right on the corner of 35th and State.
Okay. Okay.
9th floor.
35th and State.
State.
So if you know someone that is exiting, being released,
They have had to been out less than a year. If
Have
they've
been
been
out-
out less than a year, you don't have to have an appointment.
Okay.
You can just show up and the staff is there and they will definitely start the process to get your identification restored.
Okay. Okay. That's very good information to know. So, are you seeing that particular population having health needs?
Oh, absolutely.
And what are what are you seeing as they're being released? Some of the needs that that they need to immediate care for.
Well, the immediate care is, as far as I'm concerned, housing is a major piece because there's not enough housing. That's a must. People are looking for housing. They all looking for jobs.
Right.
Okay, but in the medical thing, we are identifying quite a few Hep C positive people coming out of prison. Way more than what we anticipated when we started. We just started doing hepatitis C screening about 6 years ago at our agency.
Okay.
And lo and behold, from the first year, we tested something like 600 people in that year, and we had like 50-something positive Hep Cs.
Right.
And we had like 9 positive HIVs that came through within a year. It's just a lot.
So what's the reason for that, if you know?
The reason they have
Yeah.
Hep C, I can't say how they contracted Hep C. All I know is it's there. It's showing up in their blood. So
Okay.
we don't question them about how you got it or
Right.
where you got it. This is like the same thing about the HIV. We don't question people about behaviors. We just
Right.
share. We educate them
course.
at that point
Of course.
on some ways that you can protect yourself.
Okay, of course. And so, what's the connection between HIV and Hep C? Because I see educators and when they're talking about just the awareness that there's the connection. What is the connection between those two?
But I'm going to share what I know, and maybe Bev can kind of give you a little bit more of the Hep C information. But I know HIV is only transmitted through 4 body fluids.
Okay.
It's only 4. Vaginal fluid, semen, blood is number 1, and breast milk. There's no other form of transmission for HIV. Now, Hep C is different. It's a different. My understanding of Hep C is more, you can transmit Hep C through sex, but not as high as the HIV. Would you like to add anything else to that, Bev?
Hepatitis C is transmitted through blood-to-blood contact. So if you're having, I don't want to say rough sex, but if you're having any type of sexual contact and there is blood-to-blood contact, then one person has hepatitis C, they can transmit it. Hepatitis C is also transmitted through dry blood. It can stay up on a surface. You have to clean it with bleach. And there's so many parts to bleach to so many parts water to clean it off of a surface. But it's only contracted through blood-to-blood contact. So if one person has it and they're sharing the blood some kind of way, it has to get into the other person's bloodstream. But you have to make sure that you are very, very careful. Unlike HIV, it's in semen, blood as well. It's in the vaginal fluid. Semen from a man, vaginal fluid from a female, and breast milk from a male. A female, I'm sorry. So you just have to make sure that you understand that and that you are protecting yourself. There are female condoms and there are male condoms that are available, and you have to make sure that when you're using those condoms that you're using them carefully and correctly. There's a caller on the screen.
I see we have another caller. Caller, are you there?
Hi, yes, I am. So I've been listening, and I wanted to know about tattooing. Can getting a tattoo contribute to the transmission of either HIV or hepatitis C?
Well, it can be transmitted through tattooing, and what I'm understanding about that is that it's not the needle, it's the blood that's on the needles. That if the blood is infected, and that's why when you see people talking about going to get tattoos, I would even say to my own child, make sure when you go there that the whoever is doing the tattooing is using clean needles and using clean opening up blood right in front of you, not some blood that's been used on someone else. No ink that's been used on someone else, because you never know.
Right.
But it can be transmitted through tattooing. Yes, it can.
Okay, so when you say it can, are you referring to HIV or hepatitis?
I'm talking about HIV.
Oh,
That's
okay.
my expertise right now. It's HIV. It can be transmitted through tattooing.
Very good question. Thank you,
Great,
caller, for
great
that
question.
question. So my understanding. Oh, we have another caller.
Oh.
We have another caller. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
You have a question?
Yes, I'd like to know, what is PrEP?
What is
Okay,
PrEP?
I think the caller was asking what is PrEP. PrEP is pre-exposure prophylactics, which is can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, which is a medication that is taken for a person who may be experiencing um, sexual activity that would put them at risk for HIV infection. It's a medication that has to be taken on a daily basis. That person has to make sure that they are educated on how they'd have to take the medication and the proper screenings that come along with the medication that they are taking. It's not just a one-time medication that you go and get and say, because I had sex without using a condom last night, it is not going to work. It is also a medication that you take, and you have to take it consistently
Yes.
for a period of time. Now, there is another medication that is called PEP, and you also have to be educated on PEP, and you have to make sure that you take it at a particular time as well.
So these are preventive.
These are preventive medications that are available. All of the clinics do not offer PrEP. Some doctors do not offer it. However, there are a lot of doctors, there are more doctors, I probably would say, on the north side that offer it because of the clientele than those on the west side. PrEP is available for men, women, gay men and women, as well as heterosexual men and women.
Okay. Okay.
Good call.
Yeah, the good question. I want to go back to Reverend Green because I want to give you a chance to talk about your event before we get to the end of the show. I'm gonna put the flyer on, and can you talk about what's going on? Stigma Stops With Me campaign.
Yes.
What is that about?
Yes. Well, our Men and Women in Prison Ministry was funded by the AIDS Healthcare Foundation to do this campaign on stigma. And we are excited. It's going to launch on National HIV Testing Day, which is June 27th, the end of this month. And it's going to be on the west side of Chicago. That's one of our new locations now. It's 5820 West Chicago Avenue at the Sankofa Culture Center. What we're planning to do is to talk to the community about stigma, how stigma has impacted our community, and what we can do to stop stigma.
Okay.
We're not just talking about stigma around HIV and or stigma around being a reentry person, or stigma around transgender. We're talking about stigma, period. What could we do as a community to make people feel safe and welcome in our communities? And my piece, what I like to say to people about what I feel about stigma, I hear a lot people talking about we got stigma. What can we do as an individual? And I would like to say I want stigma to stop with me.
Okay.
And how you do that is when you hear people sitting around the table talking about people or saying things that are negative about a different group of people, we can stop that by educating that, make it a teachable moment,
Absolutely.
and educating a person right then and there about.
Absolutely.
Not
So
being-
that Stigma Stops With Me campaign. It's a free community,
free to the community.
Free community event. Can't even get the word out on June 27th. You can definitely contact the Georgia Doty organization to get more information about that. I also want to share before we end the show that the Georgia Doty organization is having its 2018 Health Awards Gala on July 28th. There are 7 community activists, advocates, leaders that are being honored for their work as it relates to combating the health disparities within our community. You can email us at thedotyreport@gmail.com or go to the website georgiadotyinc.org for more information. That is July 28th. It is the 2018 Health Awards that the Georgia Doty Comprehensive Health Organization is looking forward to. I want to thank our guests. definitely thank Reverend Doris Green for being here.
Thank you for the
Thank
invite.
you for the service and the resources that you provide to the community. I think it's just so important. Unfortunately, we have so many that are coming out, being
Yes,
released from the
absolutely.
prison system, but coming out and not having nowhere to go, no one to help, no one to give them some guidance doesn't do them any good.
No.
You know, so it's great to hear that there is an organization that is there if they need resources. Can you share once again the name of your organization and where it's located?
Yes, it's Man and Women in Prison Ministry, and we're located at 10 South, I keep saying West, 10, I'm
10
sorry,
West.
10 West, 35th Street, right on the corner of 35th and State, on the 9th floor.
That's
We're
right
in the
on the-
IIT Tower.
Right on the corner of 35th
Fifth and
and
State.
State. They have a array, variety, a whole bunch of resources for those that are recently released from prison, as well as some other services as well. We thank you so much for
I'm
your
happy to be
35
here.
years of service. We have another caller. We're about to go. Caller, you there? You better go quick. Are you there, caller?
Yes, I'm here.
You have a question?
Yes, I would like to know if you have sex with a person that has kidney cancer, can you catch that from a man that has kidney cancer?
No, ma'am.
No?
No, cancer is not transmitted through sex. First of no.
None of us are health practitioners or
No, but
doctors, but
can-
I don't think
Cancer is not
Cancer-
something that can be
Cancer is not-
transmitted.
cancer is not
No.
transmitted through sexual intercourse.
No.
You know, even if they have stage 4 cancer, are you told, okay, that's not.
Wrap up.
So we have to wrap up. Again, thank you, viewers, so much for tuning in to the Doty Report on Comprehensive Health. We will be here next Monday, same time, 7:30. We definitely appreciate you. We thank Reverend Green. We thank
Okay.
Miss Beverly Walker for being here. We thank you for viewing, and we thank you, and we look forward to seeing you again next Monday. Have a
Okay.
great, great, great rest of the week.